Hey everybody, so I thought I'd just show you a thing that's just awesome for teachers, especially with what's going on right now. It's something, basically if you're a teacher right now, in my opinion, you should get it. Now if you don't use Google, it won't be as useful for you as for those teachers who do, but if you wanted to go get a job at a different school, there's a very good chance that they will use Google, especially if you're seeing this in the US. So in the US, I can't tell you the percentage of schools that use the G Suite or Google Suite, but I can tell you that something like 60% of all schools use Google Chromebooks, which inherently means that they use G Suite. Some schools probably use Microsoft. Some schools probably have custom applications or whatever. Let me switch this over here. But a ton of them use the Google Suite, and that's all dealt with by the IT team. Where you as a teacher come in though, is you can go for this certified educator thing, this certification here. And here's the website, teachercenter.withgoogle.com /certification_level 1. So I've got mine, I've got level 1. I think, I'd have to double check, but I believe it costs, $10 exam fee. When you go to level 2, I think it's more, and I'd like to get, $25. I'd like to get my level 2, and I probably will at some point. But for right now, what I've got is level 1. And when you complete it, you get this nice certificate. So this is cool. Mine's good through 2022, the beginning of 2022. And then you can also put this right here onto your CV, onto your resume. And I've got mine on there. So as it says here, individuals who have achieved this certification may publicize their status with their personalized certificate and badge. Always label your status with the correct level, blah, blah, blah. The certification is valid for 36 months. Now, in my opinion, any school that has G Suite probably ought to offer at least level 1 to you as free professional development. I mean, it's $10. It's US dollars, but whatever. It's $10. If you're using G Suite, this right here is going to make you so much better, so much more proficient at using it. So, and basically, if you can get this certification, it proves that to an extent. And I think it's really important that schools using G Suite really buy in completely to this program and get their teachers onto it. And even if a school had, say, 50 or 60% of their teachers who were only level 1 certified, not even level 2 or beyond, that would be a huge advantage. More so for the school, honestly. So for one thing, it looks great to parents, especially if you're a private school. Looks like you're on the ball, you know what you're doing. Not only do you use the Google Suite, but you know it really well. Your teachers know it really well. If you've got, 50, 60% of the staff and say 40, 50% of the administration who are Google certified, you can help out parents more easily and stuff. And again, of course, if you're using Chromebooks, they go hand in hand. It's part of the ecosystem. But also the skills that you get here, most of the time will transfer to Microsoft and will transfer to other Office suites. So even if you're going to a school that doesn't use G Suite and Google itself, it's still a transferable skill. So at any rate, let me show you what it's about. Basically, there's this exam, and you pay $10. It's 180 minutes. You've got to have a webcam because the way Google does it is you have your webcam, you take a picture or two while you're taking the exam. The actual exam, they have a human being who will look at you, who will look at the person through the webcam and make sure that it's you to sort of, just verify that you are who you say you are. I'm not going to get into exam information and details. Basically, it's, do you know how to use the Google Office Suite specifically for education? And there's a ton of training that goes along with it, and there are some practice exams, and you can find more information online, and you can find answers to some of the exams and so on and so forth. But it's much more involved than some of the other professional development courses that I've seen online. So, for instance, Microsoft has actually a pretty nice website. Let me find it here. This is when you know you've got too many bookmarks, when you've got to search for them. Let's see. So Microsoft does have this education.microsoft.com with these courses and stuff. And if I were to sign in, you would see I've done one or two of them. But honestly, one of the ones that I did, I think it got me a certificate, but it was 8 multiple choice questions, I think, and it was about digital citizenship, which is nice to have. I mean, it shows that I know the very minimum, the very basics of it. But honestly, from opening the browser to completing it probably took less than 5 minutes, and I did it without any of the other information. Without any of the information that they gave me. They do give you some PowerPoints and some other stuff with Microsoft. That was cool. And I'm sure some of their other courses are great. Don't get me wrong, I certainly haven't done them all. But I can tell you, I use this one daily. The information in here I use constantly. We're a Google Suite school where I work. I've gone to Google myself years ago, but for my personal emails and documents and sheets, and I use Google Drive and all of that. My idea is, okay, the Office suite isn't free. They're sort of stealing your soul in order to get it by using your information for anonymized, supposedly, advertising. But the fact is, even if you use Firefox instead of Chrome, if you're going onto Google, they're getting some of your info anyways. So why don't you take the payment that they're offering you for it? And in this case, so since I've already bought into the Google ecosystem, as a teacher, this was a good fit for me. So I use it personally and professionally. They give you a ton of training on these things, and it would be good for non-educators as well, but it's really directly made for educators. And they don't just go over how to make a document, how to make a spreadsheet, how to make a PowerPoint, but these other things too. Have a mostly paperless classroom. Bring meetings online, things like that. Get ready to use technology in the classroom, tons of different stuff. They talk about bringing YouTube videos into the classroom and using them appropriately and making it engaging and stuff. So they have all of this material. And frankly, I didn't go through all of it because I already had a pretty good background. And so for level 1, I skipped a bunch of this and went into the exam, which again, they give you 180 minutes. It did take me, I think, about half of that time. But depending on your skill level, your comfort level with these things, and with Office suites in general, but also with Google Drive and the way they've set it up, and Classroom and such, may take you more, may take you less. It's worth it to go through this information first. You definitely should. But if you're like me and you're pretty confident in it, you may be able to get by. When I do the level 2, I will go through this information, or at least the bulk of it. But I mean, here, for instance, in this unit, you'll learn how Drive can be used for your own cloud storage, how to upload documents, create documents, organize, collaborate, use Google Docs in the classroom, and how Classroom works with Docs and Drives, how they're integrated together. And then it shows you the products that they cover and what skills that you need to learn. So, simple things. Sharing Google Documents. Learn how. And it goes through this. And then there are video tutorials as well. So it's a ton of information to get you going and get you started. And I would really highly suggest that you guys, if you're a teacher or really an administrator for that matter, that you go out and you get your certified educator level 1. It's only $10. Doesn't take that long. I know I sound like I'm making commercials for Google because I really love what they've done with their products. I love the fact that they are free, and it gets us away from Microsoft. And I like Microsoft products as well, but they're just bloated and overdone at this point, and they got way more stuff than you need. For a typical teacher, for a typical classroom, just way more stuff than you need. So yeah, at any rate, I showed you some of the stuff that you can get. There are the exams. There's level 1 and level 2, which is a little more in-depth and a bit more broad. Certified trainer is when you, basically to make you able to train other educators. And then an innovator is like their sort of top level. So they're talking about top educators around the globe using technology to solve meaningful challenges in education. I don't know that I'll do trainer or innovator, but we'll see how level 2 goes personally. But I do definitely intend to do level 2 one of these days. And level 1 wasn't bad. By far, it's worth it. even if you just were to go in here and do the training modules, which you can do the training modules, you can read through them and watch the tutorials without even doing the certification. Though for $10, if you're going to go through it, you may as well. One other thing, I believe if you take the exam, you can fail it, and if you fail it, they make you wait. And I forget what the waiting period is, but I think you get 3 tries. If you try it once and fail, they make you wait like, is it 2 weeks or maybe 6? I think maybe it's 2 weeks the first time, then you can take it a second time. If you fail again, they make you wait like 6 or 8 weeks. And the idea is in that time you're doing this get training and get practice section. So you get, I think, 3 tries overall. And after that, you've got to wait something like 6 months before you can even register to take the exam again. And then you can take the exam again. You would have to pay the money again, but you can do this multiple times if you don't do well with it the first time. So, don't be worried about it like that. It's nothing to be concerned about, but this is something that schools got to get on board with. And if nothing else, this pandemic thing, this shows that, this proves that. For $10 a person, there's really just no excuse for schools not saying to teachers, we want you to do this professional development, we'll pay for it, you can take it with you when you leave, but we are going to use you, and use this and the ability that you've proven while you're here as best we can. The schools that we all work for really need to invest in their assets, invest in us with this professional development. And this one is perfect. And really the current situation just totally highlights how necessary it is. So check out teachercenter.withgoogle.com/certification_level1 for more info. Check this stuff out. It's really good to have. That's about all I got for you. I'll try to remember to put that in the comments, but I'll probably forget. So there it is if you need it. All right. Talk to you later.